This video is based on historical records, cartographic archives, and psychological analysis. Maps are one of the most powerful tools of human civilization. They do not only show geography, they represent power, control, and information. For a state, a map is not just paper. A map is security. During the Soviet era, their maps were considered among the most accurate in the world. However, declassified documents later revealed something unexpected. Many Soviet maps contained deliberate errors. Yes, the mistakes were not accidental. They were systematic. The question is, why would a state intentionally draw its own maps incorrectly? The answer is not only in military strategy. The answer lies in psychology and control mechanisms. Map equals power throughout history. Geographic knowledge meant military advantage. Whoever knew roads, bridges, terrain, and city layouts better usually won. The Soviet Union took this principle seriously. They produced two types of maps. One, classified, precise, inaccurate maps for military use only. Two, public, intentionally altered maps for civilians and outsiders. These were not small mistakes. Sometimes roads were shifted, bridges appeared in wrong locations, city sizes were distorted, some strategic sites were removed entirely. This was not technical error, this was strategy. Psychological logic, information equals control. Let's move into psychology. How does a system maintain control? Very simple. By controlling information. The Soviet model did not want everyone to possess the same knowledge, because information equals power. If everyone has power, the system weakens. So, real information stayed inside the system. Outsiders saw distorted reality. Even citizens did not know the full truth in psychology. This is called controlled reality. Humans believe what they see. If the map is wrong, the mental world built on it becomes wrong too. And the system wanted exactly that. Fear of external threat. The Soviet Union operated under constant siege mentality. They believed foreign powers could attack at any time. If an enemy obtained precise maps of Soviet infrastructure, military strikes become easier, logistics become vulnerable, defense weakens therefore. Maps were weapons, and wrong maps were traps. Psychological effect. Trust in authority. Here is an important psychological detail. Even Soviet citizens trusted these maps, because the system was not supposed to be wrong. This is called authority bias. The human brain works like this. Official source equals true state, approved equals unquestioned. Thus, people lived inside a constructed reality without realizing it. The system preserved control. Western intelligence wanted Soviet maps. During the Cold War, Western intelligence agencies tried to obtain Soviet military maps, because Soviet classified maps were extremely detailed. They included street widths, building heights, terrain structure, breach load capacity. This level of precision was not accidental. It was disciplining. Why hide truth from their own people? The answer is harsh, but real. Systems rarely want total transparency, because full information gives questions. Questions gives weakened control. The Soviet system prioritized stability, and stable systems do not share information freely. They manage it. Psychological impact. Controlling reality. The biggest impact of incorrect maps was psychological, not military. Humans build spatial understanding from maps. Distance, danger, and environment are shaped by geography. If the map changes, perception changes. This is a powerful psychological tool. The errors were systematic. Research shows these distortions were deliberate. Some cities reduced in scale, some roads missing. Strategic sites relocated, coordinates intentionally shifted. System psychology. Security above everything. Soviet thinking followed a principle. If information creates risk, alter the information. From a system perspective, this is logical. States always prioritize security first. Why this matters today? This is not just history. It is about human-system relationships. Even today, information is controlled. Reality is shaped. Perception is guided. Technology changed. Psychology did not. Conclusion. The errors in Soviet maps were not technical flaws. They were strategic tools. They existed to confuse potential enemies, control information, preserve system authority, shape perception of reality. This story reminds us. Maps do not only show land, maps show power. And sometimes, truth hides inside what is deliberately distorted. Have you ever gotten lost using a map? It's frustrating, right? But what if the map was designed to get you lost on purpose? Welcome to the bizarre and fascinating world of Soviet cartography, where maps were not just tools for navigation, but weapons of deception. For decades, the Soviet Union engaged in a secret cartographic war. They intentionally introduced errors into maps available to the public and even to their own military. We're not talking about small typos. We're talking about entire cities being shifted, rivers rerouted, and mountains appearing where there were none. Why would they do this? It all boiled down to paranoia and control. The Soviet leadership, obsessed with secrecy, believed that accurate maps could fall into enemy hands, giving them a strategic advantage in a potential invasion. So, they created a two-tiered system. The most accurate maps were classified as top secret, available only to the highest levels of the military and the KGB. Everyone else, from ordinary citizens to truck drivers, and even lower-ranking soldiers, got the doctored versions. Imagine being a tank commander trying to navigate with a map that shows a bridge where there's only open water, or a road that leads directly into an impassable swamp. This wasn't just a hypothetical problem. These inaccuracies caused real logistical nightmares. Supply convoys would get lost for days. Military units would end up in the wrong locations. And even during peacetime exercises, chaos would often ensue. The very system designed to protect the country from outsiders was actively sabotaging its own military's efficiency. One of the most famous examples of this cartographic madness is the city of Norilsk in Siberia. On many public maps, it was either completely omitted or shown dozens of kilometers away from its actual location. This was a strategic industrial center, vital for nickel production, and the Soviets wanted to keep it off the grid. Similarly, secret military installations, known as closed cities, were simply erased from existence on paper. If you didn't know it was there, you couldn't find it, and you certainly couldn't target it. This created a huge headache for Western intelligence agencies like the CIA. During the Cold War, they spent enormous resources trying to piece together the true geography of the Soviet Union. They relied on spy satellites, aerial reconnaissance, and defectors' reports to create their own, more accurate maps. It was a painstaking process of cross-referencing and correcting the deliberate disinformation fed to them. Every road, every building, every landmark on a Soviet map was suspect. Was it real, or was it a phantom designed to mislead? The psychological impact of this was profound. It created a society where you couldn't even trust the ground beneath your feet, at least not as it was represented on paper. People learned to rely on local knowledge and word-of-mouth directions rather than official maps. An entire generation grew up with a distorted sense of their own country's geography. It was the ultimate form of gaslighting on a national scale. The state was telling you, what you see on this map is the truth, even when your own eyes told you otherwise. This practice of map distortion wasn't just about hiding military secrets. It was a core part of the Soviet propaganda machine. By controlling geographical information, the state controlled the narrative. They could magnify the scale of their industrial achievements, or minimize the existence of labor camps. The map became a canvas for painting the world not as it was, but as the party wanted it to be seen. It was a physical manifestation of the idea that the state's version of reality was the only one that mattered. So what happened after the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991? For a while, things got even more confusing. The market was flooded with a chaotic mix of old, deliberately inaccurate Soviet maps, new, hastily made Russian maps, and highly accurate, formerly top-secret military maps that were being sold on the black market. For a tourist or a business person trying to navigate the new Russia, it was a minefield of conflicting information. This history offers a powerful lesson about the world we live in today. The battlefield may have shifted from paper maps to the digital realm, but the war for information is more intense than ever. Think about it. The deliberate distortion of geographic data is a direct ancestor of modern digital disinformation, fake news, and propaganda campaigns on social media. Today, state actors and other groups can manipulate GPS signals, alter online maps, and use sophisticated algorithms to spread false narratives that shape our perception of reality. Just as the Soviets moved a city on a map to protect it, modern propagandists can erase events from a digital timeline or create entirely fabricated stories to influence public opinion. The tools have changed, but the goal remains the same. Control the information, and you control the people. The story of Soviet maps is a chilling reminder that information is power, and that we should always question the reality that's presented to us, whether it's on a piece of paper or on a glowing screen. It teaches us the importance of critical thinking and seeking out multiple sources, because sometimes the map is not the territory. In fact, sometimes the map is a lie. Thanks for watching. See you next time.